my clients today are retired, and maybe even in their early 80s, honestly. They're going through this massive transition. And one of the things I really wanted to talk about is they struggle with, I need to sell my great big house that I raised my family in, super hard decision, and buy another home. And even though this big house that they raised everyone in is paid off, they have this trepidation about selling it, buying another one. How can I move that fast? That whole sort of process. So I thought it'd be really good to sort of give them some peace of mind on what some product options are for them, so that honestly they can buy the next home, right?
Right.
And move into the next home, because it's going to be half the square footage and space, and then decide, okay, let's sell the big house empty. Can you offer some insight on what that process could look like?
Definitely. So for somebody who is going to have a lot of equity in their home, I might start with the conversation with a bridge loan, which is essentially a line of credit against the home that you're in right now. And they're using that money to either help them with a down payment or paying cash for the new house.
Okay.
Then once they get their other big family home, dialed in, ready to be sold on the market, as soon as that's sold, you can pay off that bridge loan and you're good to go.
So I know we've heard bridge loans for a long time, and a lot of this clientele is like, oh, I heard it's super expensive. I don't know if I want to do that. Can you speak to that a little bit? Has the product changed over the years?
I'll try to simplify it, and I try to simplify it for anybody. So if you're my client, I'm going to tell you as transparently as possible, yes, it can be expensive.
Okay.
But so is a traditional mortgage.
Okay.
A bridge loan is designed to be short-term.
Okay.
So how any company is going to make their money on a short-term loan is they're going to charge some fees up front.
Sure.
And the interest rate is going to be higher.
Sure.
But again, short-term financing.
Are there some other ways that they could look at? Let's say they do have a mortgage and they want to just take some of the money, or somehow, in fact, they may even qualify to carry both mortgages. What would be a way of them to buy the second home? The idea I'm thinking of sort of recasting that loan. What's this other? Can you explain that process a little bit?
Great question. So you are probably seeing this more so than myself right now in the market with how busy it's getting again. People, if I'm a seller, I don't necessarily want to wait for somebody else to sell their home so that I can move on and do my thing.
Correct.
So a way to help somebody avoid that contingent offer is I would recommend somebody do the minimum down, which in most cases is going to be 5% down on a conventional loan.
Okay.
Then when they get in that home, so they are going to carry the two mortgage loans for a short period of time. That is going to allow them to get settled in the new house, give them time to move out, get the big house ready to be sold, and then as soon as that is sold, take that big chunk of money.
Right.
If it's not enough to pay off the next house, they can do what's called a recast,
Okay.
which a refinance is going to be several $1,000s. What a recast is a one-time fee, usually a few $100s, and they're re-amortizing that new mortgage loan, same rate, but a lower payment.
I think it's the most fantastic product, and I've actually shared it with a couple of clients as an option. Is the timeline similar? Am I looking at a 30-day close? Because like with the bridge loan, it can be really fast. Is that right?
Correct. We can actually process a bridge loan within 5 to 7 business days.
Oh my gosh.
I know it can be faster, but that it's designed to move quickly.
Okay, so recasting, another good way for you to be able to make the transition that much easier. Another product you and I kind of kicked around a little bit was reverse mortgage. I'm not a huge fan. They're really expensive. I had a client use it. It ate up all the equity that was in that property by the time they had moved out. It was not, so I don't want to talk about those. I'm not crazy about them. But I like this idea of bridge and really explaining that. The recasting, because frankly, these people have money. They're very conservative, however, but if they know that is the faster I get my home sold, I can recast this next mortgage, much less expensive, easy. So I like that as a product. What are some other things that you are seeing in the market, not only with this semi-retired, I'm going to call them 60 years and older type client, and first-time home buyers, like what are we looking at now?
Pre-approvals.
Yeah.
It does not matter if you're thinking about doing this in a year. If you're thinking about doing this 6 months from now, get pre-approved. Do it early, be thorough, get it done. Because what's happening is all of these things come up, like the scenarios that you're describing. Everybody has their own circumstances.
True.
And we need time to kind of unpack that and really build up the best portfolio for them to move forward.
One of my favorite things with Summer, she is such a problem solver, always the problem solver. And I know for my clients, you build instant trust with them and give them lots of options. And I love that because the truth is they can come to you and not be ready. But the best part is you're going to make a plan for them. Another thing that you and I talked about that I thought was important, everyone's been hearing about rates are going down, rates going down. I'm just going to wait. I swear to you, I'm losing my mind
Don't
with
wait.
I'm going to wait. Can you explain really what's happening with the Federal Reserve lowering rates and what that means in terms of mortgage rate and what we could anticipate? I know you don't have a crystal ball, but we'll do our best.
Okay, so today is September 16th. On September 18th, the Fed has talked about lowering rates. I truly believe they're going to do a rate cut to what nobody knows exactly.
Right.
But what we all need to remember is that it's the federal funds rate. It's the rate at which banks are borrowing money from each other. It is not directly related to mortgage rates. So it's going to take time it will impact mortgage rates, but it's going to take time for that ripple effect to happen through our economy.
You had shared, though, that lenders, bankers have already sort of been hedging this, right?
Yes.
Knowing that this was coming so that they could be bringing in more mortgages. Is that right?
Correct. We're already seeing improved mortgage rates now. So there could be no change the day that the Fed actually cuts rates. I do think that we're going to see a little bit of an improvement, just given what the market's doing and how sensitive it is right now. But the market has already been improving rates in anticipation of this rate cut.
Okay. Is this an unusual situation? I just don't remember having these conversations before. It felt like it always ran parallel between Federal Reserve dropping rates, mortgage lending dropping, and now it doesn't seem like that's the case.
There is so much more information out there now.
Okay.
The media, social media, everything. It's almost analysis paralysis.
Right.
It's just too much information out there. So is it the same? Maybe, but nobody ever knows what's going to happen until it happens.
Right.
So we aren't going to know exactly what rates are going to come down to until we start to feel the effects of what the Fed Reserve does.
Right. You're seeing an uptick in applications.
Yes.
Loans as well going through.
Yes.
We have
Fast.
so much more inventory right now. Frankly, I thought it would be even more accelerated. We're at 6 or below, we're kind of wavering on this line. And I thought with all the inventory coming in, not all of it's great. Let's be honest. It's not all great out there. Let's be honest. I thought it would be a little bit faster pace of sales. Certainly nothing like crazy 21. But tell me what you're seeing.
To your point, I think people are waiting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are waiting. I think the people that are realizing that they can get in now at the price that the house is now are still going to be able to take advantage of lower rates when rates go down. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to take time. We're going to see more rate cuts even into next year. So buy now, refinance later. We were saying this 2 years ago, and I'm still saying this today.
Products like adjustable rate mortgages, are you seeing more use of that?
No. What's happened when rates have gone up so much so fast that, this is so far beyond my level, but people on Wall Street, let's say, they know that people that are taking out adjustable rate mortgages right now, they're not going to be in those loans for very long. So they're becoming more expensive on the front end.
Oh.
Meaning you're going to see a lot higher discount points or points in general for those adjustable rate mortgages.
Okay.
So I couldn't tell you the last time I've done one.
Really?
Yeah, it's too expensive for a very similar rate.
Wow. Very interesting. Best product for the average home buyer today. I know it's hard. Just
your standard 30-year fixed conventional loan. Most of our mortgages are going to be fixed. I've got a lot of other specialty products, which maybe would warrant another video. But typically, conventional is still going to be the best way to go.
Okay. And then I was also thinking about this refinance concept. What does that cost to them? CMG has special programs available for that. Can you speak to one of those products that is really... Here's the bottom line. Summer has these products that allow a buyer to get creative with their financing and allows them to buy into a home today and get going on the path to home ownership. If we continue to sit on the sidelines with this not knowing where the rates are going to go, or home prices for that matter, because there's only one way and it's going to be up, I can assure you of that. So I love how your company is really problem solving that. So if you can sort of speak to that. Okay, I just locked in at 6, year and a half later, it's at 4.75. What would that process look like?
Exactly what you said. Our specific program, we call it Rate Rebound. So anybody who is buying now, at any point within 5 years, 5 years from the time you purchase, you can refinance multiple times. That's really what I want to emphasize, because a lot of companies are offering these kind of incentives.
But it's one and done.
One time, maybe 2 times.
Right.
Limitless. We want your business now. We want to cultivate that relationship, and we want to retain your business forever.
Wow.
Yeah. So we will allow you to refinance multiple times within 5 years, and we're going to cover the majority of closing costs every time.
Wow. The other product that you're using really helps sellers. Can you speak to that?
Yes, it's so cool. So List and Lock is still a fantastic option.
We just had an agent in our office use it, and Drew Harris, he just raved about it. It was like, oh my gosh, we got the house sold. Buyer got a great rate.
Yep.
Everybody was happy. So
it's amazing.
Tell us.
So for somebody, if you know, we are seeing a lot of homes move quickly right now because they're getting it, right?
But at the upper end, it's a little bit slower. And I feel like that rate, jumbo or anything above 750, honestly, that's where this product could be really fantastic.
Yeah, it can. So it depends on the buyer's financing type, but a seller agrees to pay a certain amount up front, just like they would in a seller concession. Okay. So it does apply towards max seller concession, or the amount that a seller is willing to pay. And then we use that money to lock in a below market rate for a buyer.
How much below?
On average, on average about 1% below market rate.
Oh my gosh.
And that's fixed. It's a fixed rate for the life of that buyer's loan. But here's the really beautiful part. So that buyer that comes in, if I'm a buyer, I get that fixed rate. Rates go down, I can use Rate Rebound and refinance and lower my rate later. If I'm a seller and I've utilized List and Lock, most sellers are buying other homes. We're going to give that seller a credit towards their next purchase. And then that seller can use Rate Rebound later too.
Please.
It's the circle of finance.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, that's saving hundreds of dollars, maybe getting to thousands of dollars. And the monthly payment, fantastic. I didn't realize it offered all of those things.
Yep. On average, it will save a couple $100s on somebody's payment.
I just think it's so important for any consumer. I'm obviously a huge Summer Pineda fan. How many years have you been doing this?
Almost 18 years.
18 years.
Almost.
God, she was just a baby when she started in this business. CMG Home Loans are an exceptional company. She's an exceptional loan officer. She's going to educate you through the entire process. I want to encourage, there's so much negativity on social, and there's like two pools. There's this pool of wait for rates to go down and then you can get in. Sellers are getting desperate. And then there's the other, like, you got to go now. So I just think it's so important to partner up with a qualified, exceptional loan officer who's really going to guide you through the whole process and share all of these different options. And while each of them has a tagline like List and Lock and rate reduction and recapturing, I know it can sound like a lot of lingo and so forth. But between Summer and I and any qualified agent is going to be able to walk you through the process. But at the end of the day, this entire industry, helping people step into a home, is the greatest gift that we can bring them. And I feel obviously very passionate about it, just like you do. So keeping you educated from the agent side and then partnering with a really qualified loan officer like Summer makes all the difference, and will smooth out your process. And you'll be like, well, that was easy. Hit the easy button. I mean, it's done. So I just want to encourage people to reach out to you.
Thank you.
And ultimately just take in as much information that's real as opposed to all the jibber jabber on social.
Well, and thank you for adding the partnership factor. That is the most important thing, that the lender and realtor, you're the best. The lender and the realtor really do need to be in sync and a partnership, because we are here to help guide you through the process together.
Find the solutions, get creative. It's been super fun talking with clients, and the more you educate me, then I can help them, and I just love it. Any other thoughts you'd like to share that people should know about lending today?
Just get pre-approved early and don't wait.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about gifting. What are some options that parents, and it doesn't actually have to be mom and dad, right? It can be a family member that can help a young person get into a home.
Correct. So in general, a gift needs to come from a family member, and that is documented with a gift letter. Every lender is going to have their own standard version of a gift letter and their own process to help you simplify that. But CMG has the most innovative product out there, which we call it crowdfunding. It's a gifting program, very similar to a GoFundMe.
Okay.
Yes, a website is created, an account is set up, it's free to use, and there's a matching feature.
Okay.
So CMG will match up to $2,000, like dollar for dollar. I know.
Free money.
Free money. Also, the reason why the theme of today is start early and get pre-approved early, because if you don't buy a house for a year, if your child doesn't buy a house for a year, that entire time, Christmas, birthday, anniversary, whatever, friends and family, anybody can donate to that home funded account.
So I'm doing a similar thing for my daughter's
Yes.
wedding. We're all putting it
Yes.
into a interest-bearing savings account,
Yes.
high yield. And so each month, the three of us, we're putting money in for this wedding, right? 'Cause
Beautiful.
all of us need to participate. This
Yes.
is fantastic product.
Yes, anybody, a high school graduate, a college graduate, somebody getting
Wow.
married, anything.
Wow. So it's a lot easier now for them
Yes.
to receive gifts to be
Yes.
able to buy.
So how can I help support you and your goals in your business?
I think the big thing right now is how you can coach up and train buyers. And I think sometimes they're feeling overwhelmed with media information about now I have to pay my broker, I have to have a down payment, I got to cover closing costs, whatever the hell those things are, that they can feel overwhelmed by it. So I think for you and I, it is just educating them on what the total cost of purchase is so that we can create a plan.
Absolutely. All the more reason to start early
Yeah.
and get pre-approved so that we can talk about financing solutions,
Yep.
gift options, different programs available to them, talk about the buyer's agency commission and what's going to happen and how we can structure the loan differently to make sure that you can buy the home that you want to buy.
Yeah. I think I have that pool of buyers, you know. Move-up buyers are pretty easy, but it's that downsizer too. These are incredible products that you have. And just to come alongside, you know, to the point of that, these people living in these homes 20, 25, 30, 35 years, they haven't bought and sold property, so they don't know all
Right.
of this. And so a little bit fearful. It's totally different than when they bought. So I love that you have some different products to offer.
Thank you.
Summer, how do people get a hold of you?
Call me, text me, 509-594-6828.
CMG Home Loan, Summer Pineda, she's the bomb here in Yakima Valley. I know you service far beyond these valley hills, so be sure to reach out to her. And always available to answer questions and give ideas too, so be sure to give her a call. If you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe and learn more about what it means to live in the Yakima Valley.